I'm going to read the introduction to the book, and then I'll read a few chapters from, a few pages. Can't see where it's right there, like he's going to read chapters. We're going to be forever. And so I'm going to read the intro to the book, and I'll read a few pages from the first chapter. For those of you who have not read the first two, deal with it. Okay. The journey thus far. I have fallen so far from the light that I am now doomed to be an eternal slave to my wicked desires. And this is a quote by Devin. Whispers of the awakening of Lucifer have grown into shouts. 3 of the 5 book bearers have fallen into temptation. Devin has been captured and is now a prisoner in the hands of the Dark One's servants. Shadowed by doubt and despair, Isaac begins to fear the end of his journey. By his side are now Arundel, who joined them in the Village of Tears, Exilia, bearer of the Book of the Justifier, and his ever-faithful friend Dimitri. Upon awakening from a haunting vision, Isaac and his remaining companions are tormented by the sound of Lucifer's voice. Claiming that he has no reason to keep his companions alive, the Lord of Darkness beckons them to go to Agalmeth to meet him and his army. In his heart, Isaac suspects that 3 of the books have already been opened, and that Lucifer is slowly regaining his full strength, gathering all his servants to strike the 4 corners of Elysium. Xavier, Erebos, and Nephel have escaped the heart of Elysium, and on their journey to seek revenge from the blood drinkers, they murdered 3 rulers: Omen, king of Swordsmouth, Folati, king of Watermiles, and Valerie, queen of Tarsh. Bartholomew and his servants led an attack on the Village of Tears, where an army of Nephilims, Lesters, blood drinkers, and men fought to the death. During the unsuspected strike, Nephel was captured and Nathan vanished after battling Bartholomew, leading Dimitri and Exilia to safety. The kingdom of Bellator has also been destroyed by the blood drinkers, who now more than ever seek to retrieve the book of letters from the hands of Lucifer's servants. In the darkness of the world, his army ever grows. I hope that was like good. I like that. I like that. Alright, so chapter 1. And this is narrated by Isaac. I knew an uncertain fate awaited us in Agalmeth. Fear attempted to seduce my mind, and in its weakness, it struggled not to give in. I felt like a sheep being led to a slaughterhouse, unaware of my awaiting fate. You do not have to come with us, Arundel. I knelt down, reaching for the diary, surprised to see that there was no damage to the object. I shuddered as my fingers trailed across the etchings on the cover, but I am afraid I must insist I place the diary inside my satchel. Exilia shot me a cold stare, and as she crouched to her knees, she reached for the book. You know, she started before Arundel could speak, standing back on her feet. I am aware that going after them is the right thing to do. Her green eyes remained focused on the book. She shrugged her shoulders, tightening her brow into a scowl. But they have made their choice. The book bearers decided to surrender to Xavier's temptation. Should we not respect their decision? My mouth opened slightly as my eyes widened. What are you saying? That we're to just leave our friends in the hands of our enemies because of what they decided? From the corner of my eyes, I saw Dimitri resting against one of the trees. With arms crossed, he nibbled on his bottom lip as he watched her with a fervent stare. We're not responsible for the consequences of the choices they made, Exilia snapped. They knew what they were doing. Her fingertips pressed hard against her forehead. I guess what I'm trying to say is that we should not risk losing our lives when they were the ones who chose to surrender. For a while I watched her, speechless at her words, but then anger arose within me like a burning flame. I will not abandon our companions in their moments of weakness. I stomped my way to her, standing inches from her face. She narrowed her eyes. Is that what you believe, Isaac? Her nostrils flared. That it was just a moment of weakness? She nodded her head in disagreement to my words. How come we did not surrender? How come we were strong enough to refuse Xavier's offer? I turned my trembling hands into fists. My chest heaved with heavy breaths. I pressed my eyelids together, taking in a deep breath in an attempt to control my temper. Since my return from the wastelands of Elysium, rage and anger had become a gateway to an inability I was yet to understand, which was followed by the will to take one's life. Arundel, I said, I need to know if you're willing to come. Exilia spread out her arms, scowling while keeping her cold gaze set on me. Do you not understand? Even we don't know what we will encounter in Agalmeth. You cannot ask that of him. I pulled my arm from her grasp. We did not have a choice. How else will we make it to Agalmouth in today's? He's the only one that can ride a dragon. Erendil's face was void of any emotion. He watched us, probably wondering if riding to our enemy's snare was something to even consider. Isaac is right. Dimitri's feet sunk beneath the mud as he walked to us. He extended his arm, resting his hand on Exilia's shoulder. We cannot do this without him. So major spoiler.